Hi guys, we're here with another video to run over some slingshot entries that were shown last night. I went 2 for 2 in Asia and made a good amount of money on my fundeds. Real easy, quick setups, and each trade probably lasted, one of them lasted 20 seconds, and then the other trade lasted maybe like 3 or 4 minutes, right? And I'm going to show you guys how you can find these kind of setups during a volatile Asia. Volatile Asia is probably one of the best times to trade because price, it just moves smooth in my opinion. It moves really smooth. So the three main things I really want you guys to add to your slingshot studying, trading approach, like the foundation of your slingshot approach should be three things. The first reaction, how to use higher power threes to set yourself up with higher probability trades on the lower power three, and patience. Those three things are going to be the biggest make or breaks during your trading with Slingshot. And I'm going to show you guys here why. So here we were overall high time frame bearish last night, bearish, right? So here, all I wanted to do was keep it simple and ride the trend. We had a huge imbalance here, and we had the 81 power 3 here with this really true first reaction right there. This true first reaction caught my eye. I mean, like I said, trading comes with market experience. You're going to have to sit here and watch these charts on your phone and trade out TikTok for TradingView and just see patterns, see price move over and over and over and over, even if you aren't even trading your account. Say you got your win for the day and you're still learning how to be profitable. You should still be looking at the charts for the rest of the day so you can catch these certain patterns in the way the market moves. Because it's hard to explain, but it's going to start picking up in your head and your brain's going to start picking up on these things like, okay, we've seen this a million times before. We know this motherfucker's about to go down. Or we've seen this a million times before. We know that some kind of manipulation is going to happen. So I'm going to sit out and just wait a second for it, right? So here, not millions, but tons of times have I sat here on a major downtrend, watch it come down, create this loop here, not loop, but this kind of swoop market maker here, and come down and take profit. Here, I mean, during conditions like this, bearish or bullish, it should be the most calm trading you are trading just because of how simple it is with Slingshot. If you can maintain those first three things. And what were they again? The first reaction, being patient through all that chop, and using the higher power 3 like 81 here to give us a good first reaction, patient through the liquidity sweep, and then the break of structure here. And then we use our 27 to enter and take profit. This candle entered me in, and I hit TP within seconds. And I had my stop at like it was 12, 13 points right here at the fair value gap high right there. So just to go over it real quick one more time, I had on the 81 our really true first reaction here. We had our liquidity sweep up through here and through the patience. We rode through the manipulation. There was no FOMO here whatsoever. The reason why I didn't enter here and decide to take a short there after this first reaction, and I guess you could get confused and think that this is a liquidity sweep coming down, but why would I enter there when we have a valid fair value gap? There's no reason for me to enter there. So then I wait. Once it comes down through here, is there any real reason for me to enter here? No way, not at all. We get our liquidity sweep, we get our failure to close higher, we start coming lower, creating higher lows, lower lows, lower highs, and we're coming down, and boom, on our 81, we had This fair value gap form where you could have entered off of, I entered straight off of here just because of how, whatchamacallit, just because I kept getting left behind on entries throughout the last couple days. So I just put my entry there and was riding the stop, took profit. And that was across the 27 because we were in Asia. Now here, this is the money. This is what you guys want. This is what you need to be looking for and doing almost exactly to the T, right? This is how you're going to grow to build your consistency to be profitable and get payouts. And this setup here is also going to, once you get better and show more growth in the market, the potential with these kind of setups that I'm about to show you is targeting all the way across your 81, targeting all the way across 243, going for certain imbalances, trying to find bigger moves, right? Because I've talked about this in previous videos. Slingshot doesn't just offer you an opportunity to be consistent payouts with prop firms. It allows you endless opportunity with a live account, options, any of those things, and to catch massive profits. So remember, this is a business. We're always scaling. We're always trying to get better, looking at better ways to make money, looking at more ways to make more money on trades, less struggle on our heads, you know? So here, as soon as and this is why I said this earlier, I'm going to say it 5 more times through this video. The 3 key foundations to your slingshot setup is your first reaction, patience, all through here, and then using the higher power 3s to have a more solidified take profit and entry on your smaller power 3. So for these 2 examples, I'm showing you Asia, so 81 and 27. Entering on 27, using the 81 to give me more confluence. Now, if it was New York and I enter on the 81, I'm using the 243 or the 729 to help me out there. So that's the concept. That's the kind of idea I mean here. So as soon as I saw this first reaction right here, I was like, we're golden. This is going to be great. We're already bearish. It's just taking people out, getting the immature traders out who can't wait for their setup to happen. And it's just, it's blowing people's accounts through here. So like I said, when you watch the market over and over and you train your eye to see the same thing over and over, not sitting here looking at 5 different trading setups or trading strategies. No, sitting here studying 1 to 2 months, the same exact strategy, looking at the market. That's how you're going to build that eye. I see this and I trust it so much, and I'm like, here we go. I know what's about to happen. I know that we're going to come up here, sweep this liquidity, sweep that high, come back down and give us a good run. And if you go back, because I'm going to make another video after this about how you guys need to be studying, because a lot of you guys aren't studying every single video. If you go back and look at almost every single one of my videos, that alone will help you build that eye and see that there's probably 2 or 3 other videos where I have a picture, or not picture, but I'm showing you a trade that I took that looks exactly like this. Like exactly. So after I show you this example, go back and get into it. So first reaction caught my eye, waiting for the liquidity sweep, right? I'm not entering to go off this tiny fair value gap here just because it's a 1 minute, and that's just not like what I'm looking for. And there's no first reaction here. You can't even call that a first reaction because we don't even sweep that, right? So this is our first reaction. Everything else we want to follow true, right? Liquidity sweep. And then we get our huge break of structure right here. Bingo. Now we stay patient. It comes up here. Once it got up to here, I got distracted. So I had a late entry, but I would have got entered in on this purple candle. But instead, got entered in right on time with this black candle right here. And then I took profit to 27's low. And that's that stepping stone that allows you to use the higher power 3 to get a more confirmed lower power 3 entry and take profit. Like this here. Boom. Straight to it. In how many minutes? 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes. It went straight to take profit, right? And you're probably wondering, Andy, how did you know to put your order there? Because I tell you guys a lot with your trades and entries, and just go back in general. We want to enter in the most premium areas and put our stop loss in the best possible position to help us survive through the trade. And here, if we look, it's going to blow your minds. And this is, I have videos on this in the standard deviation channel in the Discord talking about this same exact thing. We love to see things paired perfect. We love to see the fair value gaps paired perfect. We love to see the first reactions paired perfect. We love to see everything moving true, right? Here, I have my manipulation leg. This little 1 minute manipulation leg, I put my standard deviation on because it's our manipulation leg, because it closes down and then we just continue to run up after. That's the manipulation leg. What do we have? We have our level 4 paired perfect. We have our level 3.5 paired perfect in here, right? So this confirms, this tells me and lets me know that it should, because it's not always going to, but it should, following all the other steps in my slingshot setup, this will be our point of reversal. Now, say, the manipulation leg was a little different. It showed up there. I'm not going to take that trade. I'm going to say, let's say, for instance, this was the case, right? I wouldn't just put an order here. If this was the case, then I would wait for another slingshot setup, first reaction, liquidity sweep, break of structure, then would enter. But because of how perfect that's paired and how just precise these reactions are, our first reaction, our liquidity sweep, break of structure, inverse fair value gap, and fair value gap pair, we're golden, right? And if we look at this inverse fair value gap, or not this one, I think it was a 3-minute fair value gap. It's 3-minute inverse. Pretty sure I had a CE lined up somewhere here. Yeah. CE was really paired up on our 3-minute inverse fair value gap right here, which is why I decided to put my entry there at the red. This is one high. So, conclusion to this video, for you guys to take better steps, and that I just got accidentally entered. I just clicked buy and sell, so not capping you guys, but here, back here, continued with the trend, had our first reaction on the 81 and 27, stayed patient, let the market build, took our short on the 27, and took profit all the way across really quick, really smooth. Here we had our first reaction. Remember, it's not a liquidity sweep here, because a lot of people will think that their first reaction's here and that, you can enter on a short right there as soon as it touches in and it'll run down. No, it stops you out. And you know why? Because this first reaction right here is not fucking true. Like, I got to, like, it may sound like I'm being a dickhead, but this is the make or break between you catching a winning slingshot and you catching a losing one. You don't want your first reaction down here. You want your first reaction here, reacting off these levels. Then, everything else follows true, like I've said a million times. Liquidity sweep follows true. Break of structure follows true. Inverse fair value gap follows true. And then the price reaction off our gold back level follows true. So, you want to look here too. Like, I saw this setup happen after, but we have a first reaction. We have another liquidity sweep into imbalances here. And then, come in, we have fair value gaps here that comes down, or we can be extra patient. You wait for your break of structure. Right there again, this break of structure comes up, enters, you all the way across. And this is the potential I'm telling you guys about with this slingshot. One day, you're going to be sitting here catching moves, because look, 17 points stop at that high, right? That's not the worst. The highest we want to go is 15 points. So if you wanted to put your stop all the way at the 17 points and take this trade and target all the way across for one trade only, for the day, just to catch a big trade, it's bread and butter, man. Bread and butter. So I'm going to say it one more time. First reaction, patience, and using the higher power threes to set up for a higher probability trade on the smaller power three is going to have to be the foundation. Because patience, you're going to have to be able to ride through all this, have no FOMO, none of that bullshit, and then enter. And then the first reaction, if your first reaction is some bullshit like this, because this is my biggest pet peeve, because I tell you guys over and over and over, this first reaction has to be off of one of these levels. Same thing bearish, one of these levels, because that's what's gonna make the rest of the trade move true. But keep going, guys. Keep pushing. It's a hard business. It's tough. Love you guys. Let me know if you got any questions.